Hi, today I'm going to be doing a little overview of my Gitzo GT2541EX tripod. There are lots of tripods on the market, and the reason is that as photographers we all have different requirements and preferences. This one works really well for me. Now whether it will work well for you or not, I don't know, but at the end of this video hopefully you'll have a much better idea. Now the first thing I know is that many photographers like to be able to look through the viewfinder at eye level when the camera's on a tripod while standing up without needing to crouch. So the first thing I'll do is take a look at the tripod fully extended. I'm about 5'11", and as you can see we can extend the tripod to quite a comfortable height. The only problem is that with all the legs and the centre column extended to the maximum, it does reduce the stability a little bit, or quite a lot actually. One thing we can do to improve stability is to hang a bag on the hook under the centre column. I don't use particularly big or heavy equipment. I use an EOS M system, and this is the biggest, heaviest lens I've got. It's a 400mm f5.6. I've got no big 500 or 600mm lenses, no big f2.8s, and I'm unlikely to buy any. If you only do one type of photography, it's quite easy to buy equipment. The problem I have is that my photography is quite diverse and varied. The best thing for me is flexibility, and flexibility is what this tripod has in oodles. I'll now take you through a few of the features on the tripod and show you why it is so flexible. The legs are 4-section and they lock with a twist rather than a lever, which I prefer. The quality of the materials and the quality of construction, as you would expect from Gitzo, is excellent. The problem is they're not that cheap. This one was about $700 US. The perceived wisdom with tripods is that you spend as much money as you can afford for your tripod. If you try to save money, it's normally a false economy because the tripod doesn't do what you need it to do. You then have to upgrade, and when you keep upgrading it costs you more in the end than if you just got the tripod you need in the first place. I'll now look at a few features on this tripod which I really love and which sets it apart from other tripods. The first is that on most other tripods the legs can be set in 3 fixed positions. That's not the case on this one. Each leg can be moved to anywhere you want and then locked with this lever. So if I want these 2 on the floor and this one on the step, no problem. The other feature that's really great is that the centre column can be moved away from vertical. I just undo this and I can move the centre column to 90 degrees. It's not infinitely variable, there are detents here, but it gives it a lot of flexibility. What this means is if you're doing product photography or if you're doing macro photography, you can get the camera in some very unusual positions, and it just gives the tripod an enormous amount of flexibility. And this is what I really love about this particular tripod. I've now got a macro lens on the camera, and this is where you can really start to see the flexibility of this tripod. If I want to photograph an insect on the ground, I can get the lens to within a few inches. If the insect hops over to this bush, it's no problem just to make a quick adjustment and set the camera up again. If I'm doing product photography and I need to get the camera into an unusual position, it's no problem. So, just to sum up, if you're really tall, or if you use really large heavy equipment, or if maximum stability is the most important thing for you, this tripod is probably not for you. However, if you're like me, you just do general photography, you shoot a diverse range of subjects, you don't need anything too heavy or too large, and you want a lot of flexibility, I find this tripod almost ideal. There's just one thing that's not quite perfect, and I'm going to talk about that in another video about my other tripod, the Gitzo GT2541EX. Well, I hope this has been useful. Please subscribe, and I'll be releasing some more videos soon.